All right. We are live.
Victoria.
Uh, yeah, I love that song. All right, great introduction. Everybody, welcome. Episode 38. I am here with the one, the only Rico Sanchez. Rico, I'm so excited to have you here. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. You're driving. I love it because this is exactly how I first saw you, which was I was driving. I'm doing a Tony Robbins.
I'm going to,
Are you
it's
with us?
like you're, okay, there you are. What was it now?
You can hear me? Awesome. So I was driving. We were doing a
Yeah.
Tony Robbins event, and you were on the screen driving your truck. So that's exactly how I first met you. And I'm so excited to have you on. I think there's a little bit of a lag.
A little bit.
Okay. So let's see if we can work with it because I know that you're en route from work. But for everybody out there, I just want to do a small introduction. I was incredibly taken by one, your amazing smile, which you have, which you can flash to everyone. And two, just your positive energy and there is a lag. Your positive energy and your incredible story of where you come from and where you are now. And I thought to myself, this is definitely a story of intense growth through something really difficult. So I wanted to have you on. I want to talk to you about it. There he is. Did you hear all that?
I did. Thank you very much. I love it. Hey, am I able to share this link right here, right now on Facebook somewhere? Are you able to tag me on Facebook right now so I could share it or something?
Yes. So we are live right now. And so don't worry about that. I'm going to tag you in the live while we're talking. So we're going to do that. And you are live on 3 different streaming areas right now.
Cool. All right. That's what's up.
Tell us, who are you? Why were you there, by the way? What were you doing listening to Tony Robbins, doing the challenge? How did you even get there?
So I was at work. I was pulling up onto the scale. I'm a truck driver, and I was pulling up. I was pulling up onto the scale, and I was getting my paperwork, and I was just going through Facebook, and Tony popped up, where it said his Ultimate 2022 Ultimate Breakthrough Challenge live, and this and that, and I was just like, man, I should, man, this is Tony Robbins. This man's gonna be live. I was like, I should go. I was like, nah. It's like I'm gonna miss it. I don't got time, whatever, blah, blah. And then but then I was just like, what do you mean? Like what? Like you better do this. Dude, you've been working hard. You've been listening to Tony faithfully every day, all day. Like you just been like I study all his techniques and I write it down and I implement it in my life and it's changed my life. And so I'm like, bruh, you gotta go. You gotta see him live. You have to witness this. You gotta be a part of this. You gotta, but check it out. What are you doing? And I was just like, man, you know what? You're right. And I talked to myself. All geniuses talk to themselves. And so I signed up with my email address, and then I missed the first day. I was like, dang, I had to go back and watch it. And then on the second day, I was like, I'm not missing anymore. So on the second day, I watched it, and that's what they were talking about, the identity challenge. And I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm out here in Phoenix, Arizona right now. And I'm out here because my daughter's out here, and I I established my visitation, but there's a few hurdles And so I have to reinstate the visitation, and I could get to that in a second. But but so basically when I did the identity challenge, I was just talking about, I wanted to know who, what your past identity was, and you know, I just, I was just completely honest. I was just completely blunt about, who I am, who I was, and who I still had the potential to be, you know, but I control the warrior now, and
Mm.
when I'm out here in Arizona, so I don't know anybody. I'm by myself. I just been going to work. I just been working. I've been working hard, and I've been working hard on me. And so I'm like an introvert, and I'm like just very to myself. And so I didn't know what nobody even knows, like all the transformation, everything that I've been going through mentally, even physically. You know, um, people, a lot of people don't know. I just been really to myself, and they don't. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not the same person to a lot of people. I know I'm not. And I mean, I am, but it's just I grown. I evolved so much. So I told him, I was like, look, I was just like, my past identity is, I legitimately, it didn't take much for me to pop your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was, from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm from gangland. You know what I'm saying? And we, it was really that. And I've been locked up for it and stuff like that. So anything that I say to anybody, like, it's all public records. I was definitely what it is I look like. And
Mhm.
but then, but the challenge was like, what's your new identity? And I was honest about that too. I said, my new identity is, you know, the things I do to change my life around, because I am fighting for my daughters, and I can't expect can I can't expect for them to allow me around my children, allow me to raise these little girls if I'm this violent gang member. You know what I'm saying? If I'm still a violent individual, it could be an unsafe scenario for them. And so I worked really hard. At, I accomplished a lot of things. I'm on federal probation. No arrest with the law. No, no, didn't fail any drug tests. Didn't fail any breathalyzers. I passed my anger management classes. I passed my drug assessment programs, and they had me take domestic violence classes. I passed those, and I've been doing really good, and and I'm doing really good for myself. Put myself back to school to get my CDL. You know, and
Rico,
yeah.
can I ask you something? You
Mhm.
know, I'm listening to you and I'm thinking like the transformation and the evolvement, just like evolving, right? And like growing, um, is incredibly, it's huge. The distinction between where you were and where you are now and where you're going. And I remember after I saw everything you're talking about, I remember when I saw your story and I saw Tony talk to you, and then I like voice messaged you because I was like, I'm so pumped up before going into work with my clients, just listening to what you were sharing. And then we connected and you told me all of these beautiful things that you want to do. And I'm just so curious if you can go back, because where you come from is, first of all, relatable to so many people. And it's relatable to people that don't always have access to this kind of work. So I'm curious about like, was it a straight journey? Like, I just want to change, or was it, did you did you hit rock bottom and then you thought, this is something I really want to do to have a different kind of path? Like, how did your mindset, like, where did your mindset go from where you were to where you are now?
I would say I did hit rock. I would say I did hit rock bottom, in a sense. Um, so when I had separated from my daughter's mother, um, I had um, I had instantly like got into another relationship, and 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 this lady, is from a different walk of life, but she believed in my potential. She believed in me, and she helped me out a lot. I got a lot of love for her. Can't take that away from her. We are definitely two different people, and then and what I struggle with my anger and stuff like that, it started to show in different ways. Especially when my daughter's mother found out I was with another woman, she stopped letting me see my daughter, and so there was these underlying frustrations, and it affected our relationship, and to the point to where this lady couldn't put up with it anymore,
Mm,
and so I ended up leaving. When I left, you know, I was basically homeless again, and I was just like, man, I was staying in an extended stay hotel for a month, and I was living in my Benz for like 2 weeks, and and I told myself, I said, I even got videos, I recorded it because I knew exactly at that point in time who I am, and no one's gonna tell me, that who I'm not, and I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna show the world. It's
mm-hmm.
just gonna take time for the world to catch up. It's gonna take time for me to catch up. But I also knew that you know it can't just be everybody else. It just can't be the world. It's got to be me. Like you know, I always say that you're not responsible for other people's actions. But you have to take accountability for the role that you play in every relationship, every circumstance, any interactions with people. You know, you play some factor in that. The moment that you start interacting, engaging, and there's a transfer of energy, you are solely responsible for what you produced and how you influence it. You could come into contact with somebody and smile at them, and you just left a positive impact on their day, on their outcome of their day. Now you can also come to contact with somebody and just just and be ignorant and rude, and now that energy that you just gave that person, or you might have something going on in yourself and you're not even conscious that you're being ignorant and rude to somebody, but now this person perceives you as a rude and ignorant person, and so now anytime they're in contact with you, they're holding this grudge against you, and
Mm,
you don't even know, and you're confused, and you're just like, this person don't like me, so I don't like this person now, and now you're intentionally having an attitude towards this person, and so accountability was my biggest thing. I had to take accountability for my actions, and I knew that it started with my thoughts. I knew my thoughts were wrong. I knew that I cannot continue with the same mindset that I had, because it's gotten me in prison so far. It's gotten me homeless so far. It's gotten me, you know, bad relationship after bad relationship, and I know I was the problem. I knew there was something about me that needed to be fixed, and so I started. That's when I discovered Tony, and I started implementing his perception and procedure. tactic. You know, he says if you're my biggest thing is I'm an angry person, I'm a snappy person, and so I started practicing on not jumping to being mad right away, because even though I felt like I gave a woman the best version of me, it still wasn't good enough, and it's because like God damn it, you know what I'm saying, like like fuck, you know what I'm saying, and and so like where I come from, someone might look at you and be like, man, hit this blunt, be cool, like chill out, like you know what I'm saying. But that aggressive nature is just how we are where we're from. So it ain't even man, like man, this stupid mother, you know what I mean? Like, oh, like man, move out my way, like yelling in traffic, move, like honk honk, like you know what I'm saying. But I could be cool, but I'd be cool, but but I had to display that aggression. It
Mhm.
was a survive, and it was a survival tactic at one point in time. You had to be able to go from 0 to 100 real quick, and and so being around regular civilian life where people aren't acting like that, it can be scary to somebody who's sitting next to you, and you're just and now I'm like, they don't know what it is, but I'm snapping here, I'm bugging up, and that person and a civilian person, a normal human being
Mm.
they're gonna get scared, they're gonna get worried, and
Mhm.
I know I look intimidating, and so I smile.
I'm telling you, smile. I love your smile.
Thank you, and so I had to start practicing on it. I had to practice on that. You know, not and not getting identifying, knowing when I'm gonna get angry. And the easiest one for me was traffic. There are terrible drivers out here, and then but I had to realize what I have control over, what I don't have control over,
Mhm.
and I understood that traffic sucks. These people suck behind the wheel. I cannot change that. So I can accept that now, and I don't have to get upset over them in the road. I don't have to. And I started realizing why I'm getting upset. I started digging more. Tony Robbins talks about loss or less, and I realized why I go 0 to 100, and I started
Mm.
to break it down. I started realizing there's emotions in between, and sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's just you're sad. you know, and someone hurt your feelings. You hurt my feelings. I'm a big old salty for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you hurt my feelings. I instantly cut everything out. I instantly jump immediately to anger because you hurt my feelings. I can't show no sense of softness where I come from, and so you're gonna get the angry aspect of it, and you might get punched in your face. You know what I'm saying? So that was something that I had to break. I had to slow that down. I had to understand that there's emotions in between. And that's what Tony says. Tony says first step is what are you really feeling? And I swear to God, for like a whole month, I was emotional. I was the most emotional person because now that I'm stopping going straight to anger, and I'm realizing that there's emotions in between. I was just so emotional. I was emotional. I was so emotional. Like I was, I because my brain didn't know how to respond to these new emotions. That it's identifying something new that it didn't. I mean, when I'm 36 years old, like, and I've been like this like 30 years of my life. You know what I'm saying? At least, and so I didn't know how to react. So I'm just like all like sentimental. You know what I'm saying? And like like, and now I want to get mad because of that, and I'm like, nah, but I can't get
Yeah.
mad because of that, like, I had it took like a whole other month for me to learn how to get a hold and understand these other emotions and feelings that I'm feeling, and how to talk my way through them. And but it all started with accountability, knowing that there's something wrong with me that I had to fix, because I'm not going to keep damaging women. You know, if I have to treat a woman the way I want my daughters to be treated, and I want to treat my daughters a certain type of way to make it hard for every man on earth. Like like I'm gonna go hard for my babies. So they need to know this. They need to know that this is what a man has to be willing to put you first, to put your safety first, to to treat you like a princess. A man has to be willing to do all these things, bend over backwards. You know what I mean? And for you, and my oldest daughter, she didn't get to experience much of that. My youngest daughter got to experience all of that. And and I plan on getting back in my oldest daughter's life too. And I just want to establish a relationship with her, and and ultimately let her know that I got her back. I'm there to support her. You know, she's 14 years old now. She's gonna be 15, basically 15 in a few. Oh my God, Jesus, she's gonna be 15, and so she's gonna be going through her hurdles in life. She's gonna be getting her heart broken. She's gonna be There's gonna be peer pressure. There's gonna be mistakes to be made. There's gonna be errors. And nobody can help her more in that area than me. I can tell you how to. I can write a book. I can write a book how to mess up. I can write a book how to fail. I can write a book about how to do all the wrong things. But I can also write a book on how to not do that. You know, and and I can also write a book on when you do that, how do you bounce back from it? How do you recover from it? And so that's what I have to offer her. And I just wanna give her the same thing I gave my youngest one. And daddy's gonna go hard. I'm gonna go hard, and anybody that they end up with in their life, you know, I want them to see a hardworking man that's gonna work hard, get up every day, you know what I mean, and do what I'm supposed to be doing. And I had these hurdles for my probation and all these things, and they keep giving me these stipulations, and come on, give me all the challenges. I want them to see that. I want them to see that how I changed my life for them, so that they can someone they can be proud of, and they can make a determination that this is the kind of man that I want in my life. And so I have to lead by example.
Yeah.
And so I kind of hit rock bottom, and I realized I have to I have to I have to figure this out. I have to figure out what's going on in there. And so I did. It was a long process, and I'm still working at it. Just the other day, I made discoveries about myself, uh, or why I'm insecure. I got a lot of women issues, and I got women issues because I didn't have the best relationship with my mother. And but 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 I was able to work that out. I was able to, for example, um, you want me to keep going, or you have questions?
Oh, I have so many questions for you. And
Okay.
I would love for you to keep going. I would love to hear about that. I have a question though about something you just said. And it's a little bit of a difficult question, and some people react to it, but I think I think it's an important one to ask. So sometimes, I've talked to you when we chatted a little bit about about post traumatic growth, which like so much of your growth actually comes from your struggle. And I wonder, I guess my question is, all of your insights and growth have come from all the shit that you've been through and all of the things that you've done and all the consequences that you've experienced. Given the fact that you've grown so much and continue to, would you ever take any of that back, given that it's because of that that you're here now?
I wouldn't take anything back. I would do it all over again. I would do it all
Yeah.
the same. I would do it all the same. I wouldn't ask. I wouldn't ask. I wouldn't ask for anything. I wouldn't ask. I wouldn't ask for anything to be changed because I had to. You have to. You have to go through. You have to go through pain in order to grow. You have to suffer in order to grow. And I believe that. I believe that we complicate our lives. Life doesn't have to be as complicated as we make it. It's just that we miss our messages.
Mm-hmm.
If people lost a sense of relationship with the Almighty, I mean, people can call him whatever they want, the universe, her, God, Yahweh, Allah, whatever they want to call their higher power, a relationship needs to be there. A relationship needs to be there all day. It has to be present. I talk to him all day. I talk to him all day while I'm talking to myself. You know what I'm saying? And and it has to be present so you can receive these messages. Now I'm good. I receive these messages. I know exactly what it is. I know the problems. I know I'm able to. I'm in the ring. I'm spawned. I'm spawned. I'm doing really good. But before I was getting hit in the head, hit in the
Mm-hmm.
head, hit in the head. I didn't receive the message. You know what I mean? Duck. You know
I
what I'm
love
saying? Like
it. Me
I
too.
didn't receive I didn't receive the message. I didn't receive the message, and that's what happens to a lot of us. We 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 are not spiritually in tune, connected, and a lot of different things do it. You know what I'm saying? Going for a walk in the park, going into the gym, um, you know, moment of serenity, just quiet, being in the room by yourself, going for a long drive by yourself, being alone with your thoughts.
Simple things.
That time, yes, that time is imperative. That is the time that you connect with yourself and you connect with God. If you do not give yourself that time, you're gonna miss all the messages. And the messages, I, I was missing messages all my life. Here's your message. Okay, you didn't get the message. Over the head. Okay, you didn't get the message. You know, explosions, car crashes. You know what I'm saying? Death.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch. 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 Okay, I feel you. I feel it. I feel that something is now. I'm being told something now. I feel
Mm-hmm.
it. My eyes had to open up,
Yeah.
and that's how it's. And life's not like that no more. My life is beautiful because I'm able to see these messages in advance. But
Hmm.
before I was missing I was missing them, and I had to learn a hard way. I had to learn the harder way. So I wouldn't take back anything. I wouldn't take
Hmm.
back nothing because I wouldn't. You don't you don't grow in the comfort zone. You don't grow in complacency. When things get hard, there is a message. When things get hard, you're you have to find out. You need to. It's like a video game. You got to go find the pieces. You got to go find the tools. You know what I mean? To come back and unlock this door, or to make you strong enough to knock it down, or look for the clues that are going to lead you to the key and the strength to open it and knock it down. Like, you know, once you get once you get there and you complete it, you feel happy, you feel grateful, you feel accomplished, you feel like, yes, I did it.
Mhm.
And you live in that space, and everybody wants to stay in that space, but it's not realistic.
Mhm.
It's gonna get harder. You made it to the next level. It's like I
Mhm.
look at it like playing Super Mario Brothers. You make it to the next level, and because you made it to the next level, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be harder. It's gonna get harder, and you have to go and you have to die. You have to crash. You have to fail. You have to you have to start over
Mhm.
until you can figure out how to pass that level. Some A lot of us just get stuck there, stuck in bad relationships. They don't want to leave. They don't want to leave because change is scary. New is scary to the brain. But the toxicity that they live in is familiar, so therefore it's comfortable.
Yes. Mhm. I'm just so I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, Rico, like, there's some people you hear them and they're not always talking from experience, or it is experience, but it's maybe somebody else's experience, right? But what really attracted me to your story was just how just how genuine you are about the things that you're talking about, because it's like you literally are living it. Um and it's right. I feel like my head just keeps going, yep, that's right, because it resonates so much.
I'm going through it now. I'm going through it now, but I'm just I have these tools now. I'm advanced. I'm
Mhm.
advanced, and I know how to deal with it emotionally. Don't get me wrong. Recently, I found some things out of myself, and it was a new experience for me at the time. It was a new experience, and you know, and my brain did what my brain does. It goes to its go-to,
Mhm.
but I was able to stop it before I got really out of hand. Before I became damaging to a person, I stopped it and I corrected it.
Mhm.
You know, I want to say like that. Took me a little longer, but I corrected it.
Mhm.
I corrected it, and I act and I found out where it came from,
Mhm.
and the, like past traumas, I go back, I revisit it. It sucks. I let it suck for a little bit. Sometimes I live in the suck, you know what I'm saying, and I fully embrace it. Like, this place sucks. I hate feeling like this. But you
Mhm.
know what? I'm about to tell you goodbye. So let me give you a nice big hug and tell you thank you for ruining my life how you did. Because if you did not ruin my life how you did, I would have not been able to find this new life that I have now.
Mm.
And my future life is so beautiful. It's so good. I just love it so much. I already live there in my mind, in my heart. I'm
Mhm.
there already. That's how manifestation works. And so, you know, talking to this insecurity and I'm hugging it. I'm saying thank you.
I love
Thank you
it.
for the thank you for the part that you played in my life.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna miss you,
Mhm.
but you gotta go now.
Yeah.
And then I'll rewrite my story from the past. That for me, that's what the trick is. That's what the key is. Uh, you know, I understand why I am a certain type of way with insecurities or what have you, and I'll find out where it stems from. We all know where it stems from. We all have these memories. We all have these bad. You can almost instantly think if you want to tell a bad moment in your life, you got it. You have a go-to story where
Yep.
when you're opening up, confiding in somebody, and you're all sharing your boo-hoo sob stories, you have yours. Me, I don't have any anymore
Mhm.
because I went to that boohoo place that made me feel like that. I'll literally place myself there and I'll sit in there in my, I'm there and I'll look around. You know what I'm saying? After I'm done with that feeling that I feel, I'm looking around and I'm like, what is the what is the message that I missed 20, 30 years ago? What is the
Mhm.
message that I missed? Or not that I missed, it's perfect timing. It was meant for me to find it
Mm.
25 years later. Where are you now? There you are. I see it.
Mhm.
And this is what I got. This is what I get from it. You want me to tell you like an example?
I would love an example, and I'd also love if you could share with that example, what are some of the things that you've learned about yourself that you didn't know?
I'll tell you one that I just recently learned. Um, well, I guess I've been so I had an insecurity, and now if a dude says something to me, you know, man, get bent, bro. You know what I mean? Like whatever. You know what I mean? Watch how you say it, or I might hit you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's how I used to think. But you know, I can brush it off with a dude, but with a woman, it would affect me, and why? And I didn't. And so a lady was giving me praise the other day. She was legitimately giving me praise. Okay, I'm not gonna say woman and lady. This is she's my new girlfriend. She's my new girlfriend.
All right. Is that the first time you've
And
said is that the first time you've said that?
yeah, yeah. So so she's doing a lot better, by the way. How long I'll last, I don't know. I keep doing these podcasts. She better start tuning in. Nah, I'm just playing. Um, kind of, sort of. So so she was like I sent her a song and she was just like, wow, that song is perfect. She's just like, man, everything about it, like it's perfect. Like everything about that song was perfect. She was just like, she's like, not to sound like a hater or nothing, but she's like, you know, like on your other songs, you sound like real nasally, you know. And I lost my shit. I
Hmm.
lost my shit because now in my mind, in my head, there's no artist that can measure up to me. There's there's like two. There's one that I feel is like here with me. His name is Kevin Gates. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
I'm not.
So Kevin Gates, he's a real authentic person, really from the streets, really, you know, really about that life style that he was from, but he's also huge intuitive mind, believes greatly in power of manifestation. He just his mental mind shifts are just he's phenomenal.
Mhm.
and and I love it because we talk a lot of, you know, about not the same stuff, but he's not scared to talk about how he feels, his, you know what I'm saying, and I do the same thing. Like I don't hold back in my music. Like, you know what I mean. I'll talk about my feelings for a woman or past relationship or, you know, just or what matters to me, my kids. You know, like not people don't really do songs for their kids. I got songs for my daughters, you know,
Mhm.
and what they mean to me their birth, and I give you descriptive details, and I'm not embarrassed about it or shy to say it. And so he's the same way. So that's like the only person that I feel like, you know what I'm saying, can mess with me. Everyone else, I don't feel like they're as authentic as me. You know, there's one other rapper named Moneybagg Yo, and other than them two, I don't really feel. And there's a couple. I have a little list, but I don't really feel that there's someone as genuine and authentic and really gives you. I don't make up songs. I don't create stories. I give you my life. I give you aspects of what I've been through, from
Mhm.
relationship standpoints to struggles and everything. So so in, so with that being my mentality, why do I care what she's talking about? With like, she's saying how I sound like but it affected me. It affected me. It affected me, and I realized why. And I was, and I was. It was over with for her. I was just like, it was over. Like, no, we can't. This ain't gonna work. Like, no, because in my mind, like, I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. I don't care. I don't care what I'm doing. You need to make me feel like number one. You need to make me feel like I am the greatest at everything, even if I'm not. You need to make me feel that way, because this is exactly the effort I put into you. I
Mm.
go out of I make it my priority to make sure that your emotional health is together. Me, I need my mental health a priority. And I make it a habit to compliment, to listen. How's your day? And listen, that's all I gotta do. I ask a woman. That's it. How's your day? And you better be prepared. You know what I'm saying? And so I listen. I listen. I I give my shoulder. I give my ear. I give. You know. I make sure. I make sure, because I don't want to ruin. I was chauvinistic, and I didn't acknowledge women before. I really value them. I wanted to make sure I don't do that anymore. And so I make her a priority to feel like she's number one. I make her a pri- I make her feeling that she is number one a priority.
Mhm.
So that's my standard. I'm gonna live up to every standard, but I'm also demand it from anybody in my circle.
Mhm.
If you're not living up to these standards, I'm gonna lead by example.
Mhm.
And if you can't live up to that, we just can't be friends. We can't be in the same circle. We can't be in the same car. We can't have the same conversation. We can't. There's nothing to talk about,
Mhm.
because we're not moving in this. We're not moving in unison.
Mhm.
So, I was like, why am I like that? Why am I? Because now I'm thinking, I'm using tone, perception or procedure. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I upset with her? I shouldn't even be upset with her. She just told me that this was the greatest song that she's ever heard from me, and that it was perfect. Why am I? And then I started to dig back in there, and I realized what it was. I realized it's coming from a woman, and all my past relationships were ended terribly because of the relationship I had with my mother.
Mhm.
So I go back to these times in particular where I remember, you know, hey, I got, I got all A's, but I got two B's, and her response was, couldn't get all A's, and so I was just like, it wasn't good enough for her. I got,
Mhm.
I got promoted up a whole grade. Hey, I'm gonna graduate a whole year early. I got promoted up a whole grade. Nah. Okay, yeah, whatever.
Good for you for figuring
Ha.
out the root, right?
And
And how are you? What is her name? What is this lovely woman's name?
I don't know if I want to share her name right now at this point in time.
I wanted to be respectful and call her by her first name, but what a gift, right, to yourself for all the relationships you'll ever have. But also a gift to her, your partner, because you know, otherwise we're always tripping over what someone says or how they are and taking it so personally. Instead, you were able to get to the root and really look over here. I love that. I love it.
Yep. And so, thank you. And the other one was I had I had scored. I was supposed to be a sophomore, but I was a junior, and I scored a top 96 percentile of children in the junior level, and tried to show my mom, and she was just like, whatever, right? And so I remember at that point in time, I told myself, I says, you know what? I'm never, I am never going to look for validation from this woman ever again.
Hmm.
And in my mind, or anyone else for that matter, you know what I mean? I'm gonna do for me what makes me feel good. But then I stopped doing good. I stopped. I got involved in other things. You know what I'm saying? I didn't because I no longer. I was trying to make someone proud. I couldn't make someone proud. You know what I mean? I was just looking for this attention, this affection. But my mom was damaged in the head because of her traumas and stuff. And so when I realized what it was with this girl. You know, it was me feeling like I wasn't good enough, and it
Yeah.
came from that.
Yeah.
So what I did when I went back there and I rewrote that story, I rewrote the story. I went back there and I said, and I was just like, what did she do for you? What is the adverse effect? What is the new story you're gonna write? What is your new message? And
Mm.
my new message was, she made me resilient. She made me nobody will work harder than me.
Mhm.
If I fall short, you know what? Now I use that, like, if I fall short, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to get all A's. You got to go harder. I could have got all A's. I got those two B's. I got those two B's, and I could have went harder.
Mhm.
You know, I could have went harder. You know, I could have. You know, I could have. I could have did more. I could do more. You know, and that's what killed that insecurity. That's what killed that knock, because now I have this new story. Now I don't have to ever feel, you know what I'm saying, you know, inadequate to a woman's insecurity, not being good enough, because it's a challenge now. If
Yeah.
I'm not good enough, I'm gonna go harder. I'm gonna make sure that I am.
Mhm.
I'm gonna make sure that I'm the best man you've ever had in your life.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
Mhm.
make sure that I go above and beyond,
Mhm.
and it shows in everything that I do.
Mhm.
It shows in my work performance. It shows in my you know, working out. You know what I'm saying? My body's. I'm gonna be doing this thing. I got this thing, this 90-day challenge, where it's a strict diet and exercise, and so I've been off for a week though because I was sick. Um, so oh shit. So either today or tomorrow I'm gonna get back in it, and like I take these pictures with like my shirt off and everything, and I show you can physically see the difference in the changes in my body.
Mhm.
And then I have another 30 days, and at the end of that 90 days,
You get to see the transformation.
yeah. So at the end of those 90 days, I can see transformation, but I'm gonna start over again,
I love
and
that.
you know, I'm gonna make it a I'm gonna make it a thing, and
Rico, I have a
yeah,
question for you. I know that you're moving. You're on the
uh,
move. You put your seatbelt on and
yeah,
you're on the move. And
uh-huh.
one of the things I want you to talk a little bit about before we wrap up is what's your goal? What's your mission? What mission are you on? Because there's so many kids and so many teens that are going through what you went through, and I wonder what your messaging is to them and how you're planning to influence that.
So my goal is something I actually already started. Um, something I actually already started. I have I'm working with this nonprofit in Chicago, where I'm from. It's called uh, it's called Chicago Joint Hands, and what we're going to be doing is, and I linked up with I'm linking up with different, you know, hypnotherapists, life coaches, um, just different types of therapists, and they'll be doing like Zoom meetings, like, so we'll give them, they can do the tax write-off thing, or or we'll pay them, but we're gonna start working with moms and children, and
Okay.
and I want to start in Chicago, and I'm starting in my neighborhood. People who deal with uh, traumas, like someone, if their dad was killed or is in prison, or you know um, just maybe drive-by shootings, PTSD, like different, abuse, neglect, you know what I mean, rape, you know, child molestation, anything that's a trauma, where these kids where they need help. I wanna we're gonna be paying for their counseling and their therapy,
Wow.
and that way we can give them the tools, because that's I believe that's what got Tony Tony involved with me. I believe that's what it is when I said that, you know I learned these things, and I have these tools now, and now I want to share it with people like me. I want to share it
Mhm.
with people like where I come from.
Mhm.
I want to share it with them, so like that they too can, live in abundance, you know.
I
So
love
like
it.
they too, they they can. It took me a while. It took me a while to get to where I'm at. But if we could get to them while they're young, if we could get to the parents, moms, and make them healthy, they're gonna care about their kids' health, and they'll be able to help practice and implement. It might be harder for a little kid who's dealing with rage issues, because his big brother is in prison, or because his big brother got killed, or
Mhm.
his cousin or his best friend. You know, now mom is
Mhm.
able to get these tools, and and help this child. As soon as this child has this rage fit, or starts acting out, whatever, able to give them these tools to have them respond differently, react differently, how to cope with it, so that they can be successful in life.
Rico,
And the
that's beautiful.
more successful. Thank you.
The more
So more
successful.
successful that they are, the more successful the whole community would be, and the more successful that community will be, the more successful that city will become. And the more successful that city becomes, Chicago has a huge impact on the world. We influence America. Chicago influences America, but it influences it for all the wrong reasons at this point in time.
I love I love where you're coming from. So does Vanna, since she's barking up a storm. But what you're saying is resonating with me, because it's not just what you're talking about, Rico. And I really want to wrap this up because we're on the top of the hour. We're at the end of the hour. But the impact is not just, when we start in a family, the impact ripples out to the community, and that ripples out to, the wider environment. And I think that that is so important. And I really love what you're doing. I think also, if I may, your influence in that community is great. I don't know how many people are doing a lot of the work that you are at the precipice of doing. So I think that the influence is going to be exponential.
For sure.
I want
For sure. There's gonna be a lot of people involved.
a lot. I want everyone to know about your music. Can you tell everyone how they can find you, how they can listen a little bit to your music? Because you shared it with me the first conversation we had, and I thought, oh my God, not only is this guy incredibly inspirational, but your music was also very raw, very real, and exactly what you said. It's your experience. How can people find it, and how can they find you?
Well, they can go on my YouTube channel. It's Almighty King Rico. Almighty is one L. Almighty King Rico, RICO. Um, and you know, it's explicit content. I am talking about stories of my life, but the way it's developing right now is I'm giving you giving the past history with a lot of the music that I've done or that I'm doing, and I'm showing the transition,
Mm-hmm.
showing the transition in my life, and they're able to follow all my steps as I grow as an artist, as I grow into a new life, and I think it's a fun journey to watch. So I would say check out my YouTube channel for now, and I'm gonna releasing releasing a few different projects. Um, this upcoming year, I'm gonna be releasing one for sure on all the digital platforms.
Mm-hmm. What's
So
something that
Almighty
what's
King Rico.
and I have everybody, so on the bottom in the banner we have your Instagram, so Almighty K Rico, that everyone can follow you. And what's something that you want to leave people with? I don't know if it's a mantra or if it's something that you say to yourself, or just something that stuck out to you that you want to leave people with. A quote, a song lyric. You can rap for us.
um, Shoot, I would love to rap. I just don't know. Just don't know what I would, what I would do right now. Which because my lyrics, I don't ever really write them down. I just kind of, I compose it in my head and then I record it, and then that's as far as that goes usually till I have to perform it. But um, just I guess something I've been using lately is "What's your excuse?" You know,
I love it. Yeah.
I, there's no excuse in life to be better. I see this guy in the gym every day. He's in a wheelchair, and he was my motivation for me to get in the gym every day because he has no legs. Me, I'm fully functional. What's my excuse?
Mm-hmm. Just for your
And so,
hashtag, what's your excuse? I love it.
um, if you want something bad enough in life, you're gonna go get it. And so,
Yep.
what's your excuse? Oh, I want to do this. Well, what's your excuse? Why aren't you?
Yeah, I just I wrote it down and I wrote it in the comments for people. What's your excuse? I love that so much. Rico, we have to wrap it up. I hate that because I just find talking to you so fun. Um and I learned so much from you. I'm sure that everybody watching did. Earlier before Patricia Salvatore said, "Thank you." I'm going to put it on the screen. "Thank you for sharing your struggle. You give people hope that they can overcome adversity," which I can't say it enough how excited I was to have you on, how excited I was to connect with you about your story, but also to show people that, there's possibility that's endless out there. And everything you talked about was just so resonating. Um, I want to invite you back at another time to talk about other more pointed things like mindset, because I think that you have an incredible one. But for now, do you have any last words?
Nah, just God bless, and just wish the best for everybody. Hope everyone's successful with their endeavors, and just God bless.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Oh, Rico, this was awesome. Thank you so much.